Picture this for a second. You walk into a room and sitting around the table are the absolute greatest minds in human history. We're talking brilliant scientists, philosophers, and visionaries from across the centuries, all gathered together to hash out humanity's ultimate existential future. Well, welcome to today's Explainer. We're synthesizing an incredible imaginary roundtable created by Nick Sasaki. We are going to explore 5 profound conversations that bridge the boundaries of science, artificial intelligence, and our cosmic destiny, trying to figure out exactly where humanity is heading. It's going to be a wild ride. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our map through 5 massive existential thresholds: physics and human destiny, aliens and the cosmic unknown, the multiverse and the Big Bang, consciousness, God, and meaning, and finally AI and the knife edge. Section 1. Physics and human destiny, the map of possibility. This is where we bring in heavy hitters like Michio Kaku, Albert Einstein, Isaac Newton, Nikola Tesla, and Buckminster Fuller to be our guides as we look at how the laws of nature shape every single future we might step into. To really anchor this, visionary physicist Michio Kaku asks a super bold question. If physics tells us what is possible, who tells us what humanity should do? You see, physics is really just a map of possibility. It tells us that mind-blowing things like space travel or advanced AI, they aren't magic. They are totally physically achievable. But here's the catch. Physics doesn't promise wisdom. It only opens the door. It's entirely up to us to decide whether we walk through it and how. Kaku describes our current moment as standing on a literal knife edge. On one hand, we're looking at this incredible future: total abundance, cures for diseases, space cities, and drastically longer lives. But on the other hand, we're staring down AI weapons, engineered germs, and potential societal collapse. Thinkers like Nikola Tesla and Buckminster Fuller echoed this perfectly, warning us that our inventions are really just mirrors of our civilization. The real danger isn't the shiny new invention itself, it's our own spiritual immaturity. And this brilliantly illustrates the tragedy of it all, captured perfectly by Albert Einstein. The splitting of the atom changed everything except our thinking. That is the tragedy. I mean, wow. It is an incredibly stark warning. We've managed to create cosmic-level danger while we are still operating with tribal-level minds. Science reveals the breathtaking order of the universe, but as Isaac Newton once pointed out, human ambition without moral gravity, it just flies straight into destruction. Section 2. Aliens and the cosmic unknown. Are we alone? Now we're pivoting to the macro-cosmic scale, with Carl Sagan, Avi Loeb, Jacques Vallée, and Steven Spielberg to navigate the absolute mysteries of the night sky. It's a question humanity has carried since we first looked up. Are we alone, or are we simply too young to recognize the signs? I mean, the universe is unimaginably vast. Looking at those billions of stars, life might actually be super common. But whether any civilization can cross those massive distances, or hey, if they already have, that remains one of our greatest unsolved mysteries. So how do we actually find out? Well, the approaches vary wildly here. Avi Loeb and Carl Sagan demand hard data. We're talking cameras, telescopes, sensors, and extraordinary physical evidence that you can rigorously test in a lab. But Jacques Vallée and Steven Spielberg suggest something completely different. Vallée proposes the phenomenon might interact directly with our consciousness. And Spielberg notes that for most of the world, proof would probably be emotional way before it's scientific, like an undeniable moment that just changes human civilization overnight. Carl Sagan's words perfectly balance this tension. The universe is too vast for loneliness to be the safest assumption. But wonder must walk with evidence. Michio Kaku suggests that while physics might theoretically allow for crazy things like space warps or wormholes, Sagan rightly cautions that our dreams of the stars must absolutely not outrun our scientific discipline. Section 3. Multiverse and the Big Bang, the larger cosmic ocean. Let's move even deeper into the cosmos alongside Stephen Hawking, Brian Greene, Max Tegmark, and Neil deGrasse Tyson. Think about this unanswerable question for a second. It's a real brain bender. Did the universe begin from nothing, or is our universe just one page in a much larger book? Asking what came before the Big Bang is incredibly difficult because, as Stephen Hawking pointed out, time itself may have only begun with the universe as we currently know it. But modern physics actually allows us to ask what reality might have looked like before space and time even took their familiar shape. So the crucial point is, what exactly is the multiverse? It's the theoretical concept that our universe is just one expanding bubble within a much larger cosmic ocean. Physicist Brian Greene explains that this isn't just sci-fi fantasy. It actually appears naturally in the math of string theory. And Max Tegmark pushes human imagination even further, suggesting that deep down, mathematical structures might be more fundamental than physical objects themselves. Nature, after all, never promised to match human intuition. I absolutely love this thought by Neil deGrasse Tyson. The universe has a sense of humor. It creates objects so strange that even our best minds have to admit, we are still beginners. Hawking showed us that bizarre phenomena like black holes force our absolute best theories, gravity and quantum mechanics, into direct, messy conflict. They are these incredible cosmic challenges that remind us just how little we actually know about the larger cosmic ocean. Section 4. Consciousness, God and Meaning, the Inner Universe. Now we pivot inward, turning from the vastness of outer space to the infinite depths of the human mind, with Alan Watts, Carl Jung, Joseph Campbell, Deepak Chopra, and Blaise Pascal. Let me ask you this. Is reality something we see clearly, or is it just something our minds translate just well enough for our own survival? Thinkers like Alan Watts suggest that the human mind doesn't actually see reality naked. Actually, scratch that. It's more like we paint over it with language, fear, memory, and desire just to process it all. We do not merely look at the world, we actively participate in creating it. Carl Jung and Joseph Campbell viewed religion, myth, and symbols not as childish escapes, but as absolutely essential maps for navigating the overwhelming unknown. They are human consciousness desperately trying to give form to forces that would otherwise completely overwhelm the soul. Blaise Pascal captured this human condition so beautifully. Man is fragile, yet he knows he is fragile. That is his greatness. This profound self-awareness connects directly to Deepak Chopra's idea that meaning isn't just lying around on the ground waiting to be found. We create meaning through our choices, and we discover it through our awareness. We are so incredibly tiny compared to the galaxies, yet we have the greatness to actually understand our own fragility. Section 5. AI and the Knife Edge, the Ultimate Trial. This brings in modern titans like Elon Musk, Ray Kurzweil, Yuval Noah Harari, Nick Bostrom, and Sam Altman for the final collision of our external technological power and our internal spiritual wisdom. This right here is the most urgent question of our time. Will humanity use science to heal, extend, and protect life, or build tools that are just way too dangerous for our own wisdom? Artificial intelligence represents the absolute peak of our inventive power, but it forces us to ask if we're finally building something that we simply cannot control. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the stark contrast in these visionary perspectives. On one side, you have Ray Kurzweil and Elon Musk seeing AI as an incredible tool, accelerating medical cures, extending life, backing up civilization on Mars. But on the other side, Yuval Noah Harari and Sam Altman warn of AI as a severe threat, an unaligned intelligence that could create deep inequality, manipulate truth, and be deployed way faster than society can possibly adapt to. Ray Kurzweil brings this massive surge of optimism to the debate. As he says, biology is becoming information technology. Aging becomes a problem to solve rather than a fate to accept. I mean, think about the magnitude of that. If AI can help us read, model, and repair the human body, the potential to cure diseases and push the absolute boundaries of human longevity is totally real and unprecedented. But we have to immediately contrast that optimism with Nick Bostrom's chilling reality check. Intelligence without alignment is not a servant, it is an unpredictable force. Bostrom makes the case that existential risk governance has got to become a central human project. Think about it. We insure our houses, we insure our banks, but we rarely insure human civilization itself against systems that might completely exceed our control. And that brings us to the core message of this entire explainer. The greatest danger is not AI itself, but human beings gaining godlike tools before developing godlike wisdom. It's the ultimate contradiction of our species, isn't it? We are capable of breathtaking beauty, yet capable of immense destruction. We're fragile beings searching for truth, and now we are armed with the power to reshape life itself. We're going to leave you with this final provocative question. Will human wisdom grow fast enough to survive what human intelligence creates? The future remains entirely unwritten. But you know what? The very fact that we are asking these questions, that we continue to search the stars and explore our own consciousness, well, that might just be the very thing that saves us. Thank you so much for joining this explainer, and remember, keep asking the big questions.